Hi, I'm Rob Dahm, and I am here at Atlanta Motorsports Park with Primal Racing, and the journey to getting here wasn't as easy as you'd think. We have just made it to Atlanta. I got a cheap car from Dollar Rental Car, and they gave me an EV. It's a gloomy day, but thankfully today's gloomy while we're traveling. Tomorrow is gonna be the beginning of the rest of my life. Before the rest of my life, we're now in a Tesla, and this is actually the cheapest car, so I'm kind of happy with that. Oh shit.
Oh my, shoot, no.
Wait,
no, we can't go this way.
No.
What did you do?
Oh no.
Are we stuck? Oh no. Don't dig.
Oh shit.
Rob's shortcut didn't really work out for us.
Is that... in my defense, it shows a road perfectly fine. Well, this is exactly why I should be in driving school. I've been in California too long that I forgot what it's like to see the signs and know that that's mud. We're doing Tesla owner things, following the GPS. Like it said there's a road. All the guys over here just like, we'll charge you to pull you out. And I was like, that's not very Georgia-like. And so
we thought we could do it ourselves.
We thought we could do it ourselves. But thankfully, Tyler from Primal Racing is actually coming here. I think this was a trial on his part. He was trying us learn how to drive, and we failed. I shouldn't say we. That says that Joel had anything to do with this. But today's been weird. Today's been a weird start to the day. In my defense, that's the turn that we were on. And then, okay, it's dry, and then as soon as this starts to bend, I was like, it's just a little overgrown. And I got around that bend, and that was it. We've tried MacGyvering the shit out of this, but we have no tools.
We used
some sort of like meth remaining garden hose. We've used rocks, wood, earth, wind, fire, but we've wasted. We were supposed
2 hours.
Yeah, my heart rate's been up. I'm trying to push and pull. You're good. Keep going.
Hell yeah.
I didn't have to learn from my mistakes. You guys did it. Thank you so much. We got it. That looks way worse than I thought it was. That's bad, but here we are under our own power. A little bit late, but we're here. Fits way better than my suit.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yep. So
My suit like does unspeakable things. When it comes to working with keeps, one of the coolest small changes we're about to make is this right here. That's proof that I am not just somebody standing here talking to you about hair loss prevention and what you can do and what keeps is capable of, but that it's an actual disclaimer because it's a legitimate solution to your hair loss problems. Keeps has so many different clinically proven ways of preventing male pattern baldness and hair loss related to that, as well as a lot of other things related to just general hair care. And while I might be proudly here saying, yes, I've been using Keeps for the last 6 years and my hair is thicker now than it was when I was in my mid-30s, you don't have to. Keeps is discreet, it's straightforward, it's nice and subtle, and everything is on the website. I was looking to prevent the inevitable hair loss. Felt like gravity was pulling my hair back, and I sought out Keeps. I'm honored to be somebody in this role, being able to say that yes, it works, and it works very well. 2 out of every 3 men actually experience some form of male pattern hair-related loss by the time that they're 35, and I'm 40, and mine has essentially reversed. Thanks to Keeps for sponsoring this video and for this little free product. Well, I actually pay for all of my Keeps because I love it that much. It's authentically what I sought out for many years ago, and that's because I know that hair loss stops with Keeps. For a special offer, go to keeps.com/RobDahm to find that out and take action. That's keeps.com/RobDahm. I am here with Tyler Edwards from Primal Racing, and Tyler is doing something far above and beyond what I ever expected, so I appreciate that greatly, man, because I am not, and I will not even get close to saying I'm the best driver, because I'm not. Why don't you give them kind of a rundown of what we're doing standing here on turn 4?
I'm out here working with Rob, really excited about this just because, you know, I want to get you up to speed because you got Pikes Peak coming up. We got to try and get you as prepared as possible. So that's my job, to help with that in any way I can. So we're going to drive some Radical SR1s, basically get him behind the wheel of a purpose-built race car.
What do you think is the best way for somebody like me that's into racing, has maybe done a track day or two, and here we have a clean slate? What would you say the plan of attack we do?
Working on weight transfer and weight balance and understanding that is going to be a really big help, because that's something that a lot of newer drivers don't understand when they're getting into racing. When you step on the gas, the weight shifts to the back. When you step on the brakes, the weight shifts to the front and the nose dives, right? And then we have our steering left to right. So we're always trying to keep the car on a very even plane.
I'm excited to go take Joel with us and go see what the track is like before we just jump into an insane little race car and go do it.
Some quick facts about this place. 16 turns, 11 of those are blind. So the elevation here is crazy, where you're gonna be coming up over some different crests and not know exactly where you're going next. This is when you can start really picking up pace and merging on safely. We do have some turn-in markers, some apex markers. I don't want you to really get in the habit of using these because they're gonna be removed for race day. Turn 3, very easy to early apex this corner, and then turn 4. Turn 4 is a very big double apex corner, so we want to have a big diamond, essentially. We want to let it come out wide, and then right as the sealer patch we just passed, now we want to start working it back to the left. This is a really challenging corner for students for testing their vision, because they can really just stare directly over the hood of the car and not pick their eyes up and look ahead.
Absolutely.
This is turn 6 coming down into it. This is one of the most challenging corners on this track, because if you notice, I'm braking in a straight line, but I'm at an angle. And it's very common for people to early apex this corner. We don't want to do that. If you early apex, you're going to be pinching the car on exit. It crowns off, which then means the car gets light, and then you can loop the back end. This is my favorite part of the track because it's like a roller coaster. We're entering down towards turn 10. I like to use the rumble strip right there. I'm shooting straight towards the TI board. That's my mark. And then I'm going to start turning. My eyes are into the apex. It's a nice big fluid arc. Getting into turn 10, use the curbing. It's like a big slalom back here. One smooth arc into another smooth arc. And this is down to 11. This is the biggest compression. In compression, you get a lot of grip. You get a lot of traction, so you can really accelerate hard. And then now we're driving up the steep hill, looking at the sky. Going into turn 12. Again, it's easy to loop it here if you get on the gas a little too much. And then over the crest, back down into 13. And now we're in our carousel, as we call it. This is going to be the long sweeping left-hander. If you hit the line right, you're going to notice my steering wheel is going to be in the same angle the entire way. However, I'm not hugging the tight radius all the way around. Now I'm in the middle of the track, but I'm still turning at the same distance, because this is essentially an increasing radius corner, which means it opens up as you go through it. It gets longer as you drive through it. So with that being said, I have to manipulate my line on the track to make it a perfect radius corner. Interesting. This is 16. Let the car track out nice and smooth. Don't want to fight the car here. And then I like to work the car, just continue turning to the right. So then we can have the car on the far right lane by start finish line. It's very important to brake in a nice straight line into turn 1. You notice you still can't see the apex. The track is falling away from us, so it's hard to find front grip. Rotate in. And then back on power. Track walks are super important for a lot of reasons. At speed, you can only see so much. There's only so much detail you can gather. When you can come out here and take your time and you can really look at the topography a little bit more, it significantly helps. It can also put into perspective how off camber a corner has, if it has banking, where cracks and crevices are, because there are things that you'll see and like, I didn't realize there was a small pothole there, but I see it now, and I can be mindful of that. If you're new to a track, it's a great way to see where the general racing line is by looking at curbing. If there's rubber covering that curbing, well, people use it.
Yeah.
You know, that's a helpful tool. If it's clean, probably don't need to worry about it, right? So those are all things you can learn on a track walk. You're just gonna use the roll bar, hop over, step right into the seat, and then just drop yourself down into the car as gracefully as you can. Obviously, this uses paddle shifters. Getting the wheel on, very simple. And then down here, looking at some of our controls, this is the master switch. It's conveniently located right next to the fire pole, so you don't want to get those mixed up. That would be a messy day. On the dash itself, it's your standard aim display. So if you're familiar with that, you're right at home. We have it set for water temp, oil temp. It's blue if it's cold. If these lights are not illuminated, you're in a good temperature window. If they ever turn to red, it means you're too hot. The top RPMs, it goes all the way to 10,000.
Wow.
You have shift lights above that. And down here, it shows how many laps you've done, and it shows your lap time. Because it's a bike motor, to go into first gear, because neutral sits in between first and second, we actually have to downshift into first.
Copy that.
So if I hold down this button, you should see a little light illuminate on the dash, just signifying that you're pressing the button. I'm gonna clutch in, hold the button, and downshift. You hear the air shifter working. This has recluse clutch, so that also changes things. You don't need to build the revs before you release the clutch. So it's not like a standard manual transmission where you're building the revs and then slowly releasing the clutch.
Okay, yeah.
Basically, you're clutched in, you're sitting in first gear, you're idling, you're gonna ease all the way off the clutch until you're not pressing it at all, or the brake or the gas, and it will not stall in first gear.
Great.
And then just give it some gas and it'll pull away. To turn the car on, down on the ignition, and then just hold down the start button. And it fires right up. That's pretty much that.
Wow.
You ready to start driving?
No. I am ready.
Go out and do some lead follow and kind of get you into a nice rhythm and just start building.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Wow. What an experience. That's insane.
Good job. That was awesome.
Oh my God.
That was a good first session.
That was a lot all at once.
They really illustrate you, because like all of my cars are all super high power, so you can hide some of your lap time in just powering through things.
Yep.
This, it's not underpowered by any means, but it just doesn't I can't make up what I lost.
No, you can't.
I think I saw a 129.
Yeah,
So
already dipping into the 20s, which
Yeah.
is fantastic.
this track just does not let up.
No, it doesn't.
You mess up a line, and you have to stay committed. It's a great, I mean, if anything, a mental exercise.
Your issues can compound here very quickly.
Instead of using the steering wheel, I was using, the power just a little bit.
I love what you said about using the throttle, because drivers, when they start really learning, will understand how to steer the car really more with the pedals than just relying on the steering wheel. And turn 4 is a really good example
Yes.
of practicing that,
Yeah.
because you can throttle in the corner and get the back end to start rotating. You're not drifting, you're not sliding, but you're also just helping that rotation happen to where you're not just fully relying on the front end. Turn
Yes.
12, you're
Yep.
driving up to the right, up that hill, and then you crest and come over down the hill into 13.
Right.
I was noticing you were understeering and pushing wide,
Okay. Yeah.
coming over the crest down the hill.
Yep.
The reason for that is because you're not letting the car roll over the crest. You're continuously holding throttle on the car,
Yep.
and if you ever come up over a crest and just keep the throttle in it, even if it's 20%,
Yeah.
the front end will never bite. Because
Wow,
when you get
okay.
on the gas, the weight is shifting where? To the back. So if you're coming up over a crest and you're keeping all the weight on the rear axle, the front end just will not want to bite.
Wow. Okay.
So
okay.
essentially, you're accelerating through 12.
Yep.
Think about just maintenance throttle.
Okay.
50%, just decent maintenance throttle to keep your momentum up the hill.
Okay. Yep.
And then once you start coming up near the top, you want to actually lay into it and then lift. So before you get to the crest, you fully come off. We essentially call that a neutral zone,
Okay.
where the car's just rolling. No throttle, no brake, the car's just naturally rolling. And then that way, you're not pushing the rear axle or the front axle.
Wow,
And then
okay.
it's just going to be much happier, and you're going to notice when you lift, the thing is just going to want to turn on a dime. And that's going to help stay next to those rumble strips.
Yeah, because I kept going wide, and I honestly I was like, I have no idea why I'm
Well,
going.
you were catching me,
Yeah.
and then I was pulling away. From my mirrors, I could see that consistently.
it was
So
consistent,
This
yeah.
next session is we're accelerating up through 12, building speed, have a lift at the top, ease
Okay.
out, and then let it roll, and then you're gonna be like, man, the thing really wants to turn now, and
Yeah.
then get back into power.
Wow.
That'll help a lot.
That second session was the beginning of me learning. See me purposely let off medium and then let off hard, and that the difference of how it rotates the car is just, it's night and day, And it's not like it's that car, it's just that car shows it so much better. last session was really awesome. It was starting to string together things that I never normally think about. Like on turn 6, which is the really tricky turn, I was looking ahead and it made the turn so much less intimidating. When you look further away, it slows things down. It's really neat because we're gonna look at data now.
Looking at some video here, it's just really helpful. So it's nice to see lap time, throttle brake, speed. See that back end, step out a little bit. So we want to let it come out a little bit wider in 4.
Yeah.
Coming out of 4 looks okay. Down towards 6. Good straight line braking, down a second. Nice line. Yep, pretty happy with that. You can let it come out just a little bit further on the runoff. Line here. So, okay, good. You go down to 3rd gear. Yep.
I saw you braking right there.
Where at?
Coming down into
11.
yeah.
So I will start to brake there.
Yep.
And then right as I'm going down the hill, I'm lifting off.
Yeah. Okay.
So I won't be braking at the bottom of the compression.
Yeah.
I go down to 3rd as soon as I start braking. I'd like you to start your downshift to 3rd just a little quicker.
Okay.
3rd gear, all 3rd gear. Big power compression up the hill. I would like you to go down to 2nd gear here.
Okay.
Start going down to 2nd gear, going into 12. Just be very mindful with your throttle control because you could even hear your throttle here jump a little bit.
Yep.
If you do that in 2nd gear, it'll light up the tires.
Okay, yeah.
So you just want to be careful. But 2nd gear will be better to carry maintenance throttle up.
So pause that right there, and then back it up right before that apex. So, am I doing what I'm doing on up here? I lift completely, and then I feel like I get back on maintenance throttle here, and that's like the wrong order.
Yeah, you want to be about 50% throttle, and then right here, you want to go full throttle for a second. It's only for a short period of time. We're off, you're on, and then you're coming off again.
Okay.
And then by the end of this rumble strip, ideally, right about here, we're full throttle.
Okay. And so between those two, am I maintenance throttle or am I off throttle? Because you'll see me
maintenance throttle, off throttle.
Off.
And then back on power.
Okay.
You were just getting on power a little premature because you weren't carrying enough speed through here.
Okay. Okay.
So it made you want to get on the gas sooner.
Yep.
Where you were off power back here.
Yep.
You need to be off power like up here.
Okay.
And you were off power earlier than you want to be. So then right here where you're 20% throttle, right as you're getting to the crest.
Yep.
That's the cause for concern because now you're just going to want to understeer coming down the hill.
Yep. I felt that. Okay.
But we can look at some other laps because this isn't your fast lap.
Yeah.
So we'll see how.
I'm pretty consistent on doing that wrong or doing that way.
It's very easy to do. I don't really do that. I don't really find a need for it. Run the line like this to where you're going straighter and delay your turn in and then turn in. So then we're coming out of this corner straighter because what we can do then is accelerate out of 3 into 4. And we can make a little acceleration zone right here.
Interesting.
And that's really, really helpful. Because now if you can go on power, then apply a little brake, settle the nose into 4. Now I'm back on power, and you notice I'm letting the car go out, and then I'm working it back across.
The majority of my laps, I would actually get pretty close to the second of the double apexes, but a couple, it would, I was out just tracking, it was just tracking further and further and further. Is that something where I kind of let off and get it back in?
Yes. Yeah. So a big thing that I want to look at your data when we're in turn 4 is throttle modulation, right? Mm-hmm. So you're coming up, and if we let's just watch this and let's just see how smooth you are with your throttle. So you're 40, 50, 50, 40, pretty smooth. Okay. Like that's really smooth. You're just kind of maintaining throttle.
Yeah.
What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be getting into power a little more aggressively. If I feel the front really start to push and understeer, I'm going to come out because I want to transition the weight back to the front. to help give me some front bite.
That makes sense.
Sometimes I have to aggressively lift.
Okay.
If I'm really trying to get on power and I'm just feeling the understeer's getting too severe, I will literally nearly pop off throttle.
Okay.
And really get the thing to rotate and then get right back into it.
Okay. That's exactly my question.
So I'm kind of trying to get the car to have that pivot point.
Yeah.
All of this line, so this is all fine. All of this looks good. Now at this point, start releasing the wheel. Start unwinding the wheel a little bit, because remember, this is the crest, this is the peak of the hill in the carousel.
Okay.
So that means as you're driving up over the crest of the hill, the car gets light, and you're not gonna have as much front bite because you're literally accelerating full throttle. So all the weight's more on the rear axle. Just let the car just work over towards the middle a little bit. And you'll see where I'm at in conjunction where you're at.
Yep.
You're just gonna be in the middle, and then you're still gonna be turning, and then the car will just naturally come back across. And now you're back on my line with me.
Okay.
But the beauty of it is you're not gonna bind the car up so much.
Yeah.
Because you're just binding up the front suspension a lot right now, because you're hugging the tighter radius, and it's just gonna wear you out more, it's gonna fatigue you quicker.
Yeah.
You're binding up the suspension, and you're just gonna hit these really aggressive bumps right here. Watch your helmet. Right there, you're just bouncing around. So we want to adjust that.
So it's my first time being in front. So we're gonna see what happens.
Front, and I saw my first 126. To go even faster from his instructions with him behind me, I'm on the moon. I'm on the moon.
This is coming to your fastest lap. So far, your first open lap of the session. Everything with the carousel looked a lot better because you weren't inching it over here over all these bumps, and now you're coming across. It looks a lot better. You were just a little late getting over to 16, but overall, do you see how you're able to pinch it so tight on exit?
Yeah.
You just got into 16 a little later than you should have, and it allowed you just to come out earlier. Yeah.
I see.
So you're essentially scrubbing some speed there.
That makes sense. Okay, is it bad? And that makes sense.
Downshifts look good. We can start pushing the brakes on a little bit further. I really like that apex. Getting the car rotated in, apex speeds around 37. Getting that up a little bit higher will be good.
Okay.
A couple miles an hour make a big difference.
Yeah, because I have grip as I'm coming out of it.
Yeah.
I was getting more comfortable because I was so afraid of spinning it. But okay, so here's where I go wrong.
You're getting the car rotated into a little too late. We need to ease the car across the track a little earlier.
Okay.
Maybe 5-6 feet earlier, start the initiation of just easing the car across.
Okay.
Because we missed the apex.
Yeah, because I'm not even touching.
We missed the rumble strip here.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
That's already putting you notice where you're apexing.
Yeah, because I was almost hitting the double curves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you're apexing here, the apex sign's up there. So we need to be further to the left and arcing in at more of an angle.
Wow, okay. Yep.
And so this is going to require you to have more steering input, which is also going to mean, because we're on a tighter radius, your speed's going to be lower.
Yep.
You're going to be steering it more, and you're going to be pushing on exit. You can actually see these skid marks?
Yeah.
Where people are understeering straight off because they just carry too much speed and push.
Yeah.
So now, look at how fast you're coming across the floor.
Yeah.
This needs to be an acceleration zone right here. Out of 3, accelerate towards 4. You're barely on throttle. So that's just timing loss. And then you're braking pretty hard. So now we're slowing down even more going up the hill.
Wow.
So adjusting this will substantially help us out.
Yeah.
Now that we're in 4, you notice you're on power and you're able to hold the inside.
I was
radius.
100% throttle and the car didn't care.
Yeah. When you're able to hold the inside radius like this, you're not carrying enough speed before. But see, now you have to lift because now you're starting to push. You're starting to bind up the suspension.
Yeah.
Six is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how you're doing with your 6. If you're that consistent, it's going to be very difficult for people to pass you.
Okay.
Apex speed is 67. Want to try and work that up a little bit more. And then we want to work on the line, which I'll explain. I'll draw the line on kind of what I want you to do. Much better, but you're still just pushing over to 13 a little sooner than you need to.
Yeah.
And you're not letting your track out all the way.
Okay.
That's a vision issue. When you're coming out of 13 and you're hugging it in the middle,
Yeah.
that's you not looking up ahead.
Yeah.
Because you're coming down the hill and you're focused on that rumble strip right here.
Yep.
And then you're not picking your eyes up and looking at your trajectory of where you want to end up.
That makes, that is 100% what I was doing.
So, but other than that, we'll finish out the lap. Carousel looks a whole lot better. Huge improvement there. Turn in 16, much better turn into 16 that time. You're letting it track out more now.
Yeah.
And 26.9.
Yeah.
Nice.
There we go. Hell yeah. Yeah, thank you. I saw 126.3.
Oh, nice.
So just those instructions clearly, I mean, that was a much smoother session than my previous one in so many ways. And so even if it's not like, holy shit, 122, 123, it was a drastic improvement. And so now with those lines even better, I know that I can drop another second or two, just give it some more experience.
So this was coming to your fast lap. I feel like the downshifts are maybe too fast.
Okay. Yeah, the car stuttered a little bit.
Just a little stutter there. Still a little late on getting the initiation in turn 2.
Okay.
You can kind of see how quick the car rotates.
Yep.
How the car just kind of moves pretty quickly if you watch the video.
Yeah.
Right there. How you just kind of work it across quickly. I'm easing the car across a little bit more.
Okay.
Thinking like the suspension compressing and decompressing, I'm loading up the suspension a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
To keep the car a little more balanced.
That makes a lot of sense.
A lot better. You notice big power, exactly what we're looking for. But still just a little too slow into the fork.
Yeah.
And you're able to hold the inside pretty well.
Yeah.
Now you do have new tires, so that is helping you a lot, but
That's not right.
well, let's see what your apex is. This was a big issue here. We need to be next to the rumble strips right now.
Okay. Yeah, I find myself wandering there.
Yeah, it's easy to come out of here expectant of the corner too early.
Right.
When you come off this concrete, just stay on this white line.
Okay.
Stay on the white line, stay next to the rumble strips, and then start easing the car across now. Easing all the way across.
That makes sense, because now I'm
You're
going
in a
this
super
way.
shallow lane.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
shallow. A little dangerous, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
And your apex speed was 71, 72. Yeah, much better. There was the couple miles an hour we're talking about, so that's good. It's just, and that was still with your line not being the best.
Yeah.
Getting into 10.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
One thing with going into 11 I want to talk about.
Yeah.
So I will come out of turn 10 and I will not force it over to the left where you see those cones.
Yep. Okay.
I will not aggressively force it to the left side.
You stay kind of more middle.
Mm-hmm. So what I do is instead of working all the way to the left, a lot of people like to get in this left lane. They go straight down the hill and then turn. I come at an angle and then just turn. So I think of this like a giant slalom course where you're going in between like the cones and stuff. It's just right to left, right, left.
Yeah.
I come out of 10, I unwind my hands a little bit, I go straight at an angle like you would in turn 6.
Okay.
And then I just go straight into 11. But what you're doing is you're coming all the way across, and then you're going to be going straight for a second down the hill, and then you start turning. It's finite,
Yeah.
but you can tell the difference. Now you are getting into the apex really well this lap, which was good. But I'll show you my line for comparison. This is also a lot better, but you have a neutral zone. You got in the throttle a little premature.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you're still not really over the crest yet.
Yep.
So you see how you're pushing off that curving?
Yeah.
That was just a little excitement. You're just excited.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that lap. 26.3.
Okay.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Good. We're very close to the 25s.
We are back for day 2. This is the first time in my life that I've gone back to a track the second day without making any changes. This is the most consistent I've ever had, and when you get consistency in certain ways, that means that you can have variety in the others. Focus more on racing, not just driving. So this is gonna be one hell of a day.
So I'm gonna put your car where your right side tire is gonna be right next to these rumble strips.
Okay.
And then as we turn into the corner, I'm gonna obviously get to the apex. I want you in the second lane. I don't want you in this outside lane.
Okay.
I never want us to be apart 2 lanes like that. We're coming down the straightaway and I'm on the far left, you're on the far right.
Yeah.
You can't see the person at all. You're like, oh, it's safer because I'm giving more space, but it's actually more dangerous because you can't see them.
Yeah.
And so if you turn in, that's where you have people in accidents. They'll turn in and they don't realize there's somebody on their inside.
Oh, okay.
Because that car is not committing to the pass and they're too narrow and they're too shallow.
Gotcha.
10 and 11 gets a little tight.
Yep.
But again, we're going to be backing our pace down. It'll be a really good exercise for you just to get close proximity and getting basically what it feels like to be on the outside of like 1 and 6, which are common passing zones.
It was a very unique experience. At first, I was actively looking over, and I was like, wait, I'm not focused on the road, I'm focused on you.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, okay, I'm practicing looking forward, but keeping awareness of you. And then when you disappeared, that was actually really cool, because it was like, where did he go? It was shocking my system. That was incredible practice.
Yeah. It works on your peripheral and everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now I'm starting to feel like where it can get competitive.
Yep. What you do for race day is when the pace car leads you out of pits, you'll come out of pits, cross start finish line 1 time, and then the following lap you'll go green. So when you go after this session, just act like that's a caution, carry decent pace, but do 1 time by, and then the next lap get up to full pace.
Okay.
Because that's how quickly you have to get going.
Session was nuts. There was tons of other cars, actual cars, and that was my first time, with traffic that wasn't my speed, that just physically can't go that fast. I hit a low 125 that session. I felt it. I knew I'm getting better. And so we're gonna look at the data one more time to see what's the difference between a mid 122 and a mid or low 125.
See that? Hear that wheel hop?
Yeah.
Okay, looks good. See how turn 2 and 3, carrying the throttle a little bit deeper. Nice. The throttle, the brake down to second. I'd like you to go down to second there.
Okay.
Short shift into third or fourth a little bit. Again, we need a little bit of a neutral zone through there. You're off brake and right to gas,
Yeah.
and you're trying to like hustle it in, which is okay, but you're just causing some premature understeer. If I go back, you're getting on the gas just a little earlier than I would, and you're on your brake. So we see you're into brakes, and then you're trailing off, and then as you really come off right there, you're already back in the throttle immediately.
Okay.
Immediately. And so now the apex is way over there. You're already picking up gas. The weight is shifting to the back of the car. So it's going to take away potential front grip where the car can settle into 6.
Go-kart driver.
Yes, it's a very common thing. with
I have the
go-kart
same
drivers do.
problem.
Yeah.
Exact same problem.
Really?
Yes.
So
Immediate
this
gas.
power is just basically washing you left.
Yeah.
And now at the apex, you're pointed just a little further left than you really want. And so now you're going to have to be more patient on when you can go back to full power. You're drifting the car, and now you're scrubbing speed. You notice you're literally going straight towards over here. So you have the runoff, but you just lost some time.
Yeah.
Whereas if you let the car roll just that little bit more going into 6, that would have helped.
That makes sense.
All right, let's see your apex speed at turn 10. 67, okay. Not bad, we'll get that up a little more. You need to move over to the left more.
Okay.
So you're coming straight over this hill. You need to stay at this angle. Keep turning a little bit longer. See how you're going straight with the wheel now?
Yeah.
You need to keep that steering input a second longer.
Okay.
And then go straight. So then we're pointed this way instead of this way.
Gotcha.
So we're gonna go braking like turn 6. You're gonna be going at an angle and then just dive into 11.
Okay.
You still got the apex, but your speed is just down where it could be, potentially. You could be carrying more speed if you use more of the track and
That makes
arc it
sense.
in. Again, premature on the throttle. You're getting really excited. You're coming off the brake, and then you're just getting back into the gas just a little bit too aggressively right here. It's causing just a little bit of counter steer. Good neutral zone. Good neutral zone.
So much better.
But you're not utilizing all the track on exit.
Okay.
You got all that extra space to work with. Again, that is a vision thing. When you're coming out of 13, it can be very easy to fixate your eyes right here because you're looking at that curving.
Yeah.
And then right here, you need to, at this point, you're getting near the end of the curving, you gotta get your eyes up here.
Gotcha. Because I should be more throttle now.
Yep.
Because
Right here, you need to be full throttle here.
Yeah.
And if you do that, your line, the car can handle it where your line is. But that's gonna allow you to, you're gonna have to track all the way out here.
Gotcha.
And you're 40% throttle. Now you go full throttle, but you've got a whole lane you're not utilizing.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, big improvement. Going to turn 2, you carry the throttle deeper, which is great. We can just keep inching that forward, and the brakes in turn 1 look better. So now we'll look at the data. Going to turn 4, quite a bit more steering angle, up the hill initially. Carrying the braking a bit higher, going to 2, and you're coming out sooner, which was good.
I also felt like going up to 3, I was coming into 3 with more speed.
A lot more brake pressure going down in turn 10, which that's a little unnecessary to be honest.
Okay.
Basically turn 10, the brake pressure is different than 1 or 6. 1 and 6 is high pressure and trail off. Turn 10 is slightly lighter pressure for maybe a little longer duration. You want to get in and get out. You don't want to be in for a long time, but you don't need very high pressure.
We're going to be testing passing. Totally different than just racing.
Finally had my very first spin out. It was very slow, it was very uneventful, but it was because I was being too nice. And that's a big problem I'm gonna have race day. I'm competitive, but I'm competitive in a time attack sense against myself. This is the very first time I've ever raced somebody, and it's essentially forcing your way in, and then they have to respect your spot. If somebody else does it to me, I guess it'll kick me into gear, but racing is hard. I think the most important takeaway from this is that it's showing me how to drive off lines too, which means I have to know the car better to be in a different spot every lap, instead of just going, hey, memorize this and just repeat. I get one day to rest, and then we are actually going to do my very first official race.